going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Mega Shrine, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifata Melafonum of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, Lions Talk Live. It is a Monday show edition, and yes, it is the start of spring break. We've got weather that's tearing up the state. We've got all sorts of things going down, and yes, we've got a main top of the day that probably needs to be addressed sooner versus later, as you do have more and more outlets reporting nationally and locally here in the state of Michigan that there is growing scuttlebutt potential, if you want to say, that Kirby Joseph, the stud Detroit Lions safety, could be on his way out. Is this going to go down? I don't know. I can see the pros and the cons of both sides of it, so we're going to get into that during the main top of the day and see what the Duke crew has to say about it. Real quick, though, before we get into that, before we get into the headlines now, etc., if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, excuse me, please consider doing so. Making that march for 13,500 subs, and we are just 3 away. So if you can help out with that, that would be great. Also, if you're enjoying the show, everything we do here on Lions Talk Live, don't be afraid to reach on down, hit that thumbs up button. We try to get every episode between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Reach on down. It doesn't cost you a dang dime. Hit that button. Also, last but never least, if you are considering perhaps buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the United States of America, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Have a conversation, how we can help you save some time, save some effort, save some money. Hey, who doesn't like to save money, right? Go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text, and we can dive into that. Also, one other note for you guys. Today will be the last live video until Friday. Jen and I are going on spring break. We leave today, once I'm done with the show. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, potentially Friday, will all be tape delayed shows. I've already recorded them yesterday. They'll be up there. Then they'll go right at 7 o'clock, so you guys can go ahead and watch those. They'll be about a half hour long instead of 45 minutes or an hour, but hopefully that will help ease your pain of not having Lions Talk Live for a few days. But again, trying to be back Friday, if not, definitely Saturday. So, all right, with all that said, done, out of the way, let's get this show rocking and rolling and going and getting into 5 headlines now. All right, and also for the spring break, just so you know, each show will probably only have about 3 headlines now because after today, just about everything is tape delayed, and I try to come up with some headlines for you on each and every one of them. All right, burning questions. What can Lions expect from Aleem McNeill in 2025? Detroit Lions on SI by Christian Bohr with this one. It's a fair question to ask. Aleem McNeill, we all get it. He got the new contract last year, having a mammoth season, great season, and then the knee injury happened. The big question for him, for the big man, is how quickly can he return to form? McNeill suffered a season-ending torn ACL in December last season, and the lengthy recovery time of such an injury requires that McNeill could miss maybe the first 4 to maybe even 8 weeks of the season. That's a bit of the season. Assuming everything goes well, assuming everything that's been reported is that the Lions and McNeill are optimistic about his recovery, that everything's gone well, there hasn't been any setbacks. That's all good stuff. But when he does return, is he going to be the same player? Is he going to be the big cog in that defensive line that we become accustomed to seeing? Aiden Hutchinson coming off an injury, McNeill injury, DJ Reader, hey, he came into last season being labeled as an often injured player, yet he held up overall pretty dang well. McNeill is set to earn $1.17 million in base salary in 2025 with a $4.96 million in prorated bonuses. And the total cap hit was just over $6 million. After this year, though, that number skyrockets to a we'll just round up and say $24 million, and then the following year, $29 million, respectively. So McNeil's going to get paid more and more, and the expectations for him to perform up that contract are going to continue to increase because, you know what, when you get paid, it's part of the business. You are going to get expectations to live up to the dollar amount assigned to your contract. What we know about McNeil is he's a Lion through and through, drafted by the team, developed by the team, and he has not disappointed. My question to you, Duke Crew, is what do you think should be some realistic expectations for McNeil during the upcoming season, recovering from the ACL? Let me know in the comment section. All right, 3 Lions draft day trades that would make Ben Johnson miss Detroit. Sideline report, Ryan Heckman with this one. You know, we all get it. Trades are going to happen, and one thing Brad Holmes is known to do for trades more often than not is during the draft, during draft day, etc. So, per this report, Lions can't resist moving up for the future Tim Patrick replacement, and that would be at pick number 70 overall. Lions select TCU receiver Jack Beck, and probably most of you guys will be okay with this. I'm assuming we all get Amon-Ra St. Brown signed a contract extension. He's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. Jamison Williams more than likely is going to be resigned by the Lions, although we did have a recent video on the show where some Lions Talk Live fans, Duke Group members, wanted him to come back. Others were not as sure. We'll have to wait and see what time has to say regarding him. What we do know is Tim Patrick is on his second one-year deal for the Detroit Lions, and more than likely the team is going to want to have a longer-term replacement for him. Jack Beck is not a bad wide receiver. He's got a ton of good upside, I think, to him. Is he going to be the prototypical Detroit Lions player that we all want to go get? I don't know, and we'll have something about that later in the week. I filmed something with Johnny Gaz, so just so you know, you guys got Johnny Gaz coming on in. You got Avery from Spirit of Detroit podcast during this week, and then Kurt the Hitman still trying to get Anthony from Roar Lions UK, but unfortunately, just with his work schedule and my work schedule, it didn't work out. So you'll have to go a week without him. But anyways, Jack Beck is irresistible, according to this report, at number 70, and I wouldn't complain if the Lions did go ahead and try to get him. All right, Lions then trade up for a versatile offensive lineman. Great news for pick number 111. The Lions select Purdue offensive lineman Marshall Mabau, and boy, I'm killing that name, I'm sure. There are some comments on him, if you remember some of the stuff in the scouting reports, saying maybe his arm length isn't ideal enough for the NFL level. Other than that, though, the kid's got abilities across the board. I do get why some people would have an issue with an interior offensive lineman or a tackle, depending on where you play them, having shorter arms, but there have been guys in this league that have done it before. Lions are going to have to get a little bit better out there as far as depth overall at the offensive line, unless you believe Kobe Scoresdale, Giovanni Manu, etc. are ready to step on up. Either way, though, I do think the Lions are going to address interior offensive line during this draft. Could this be the selection? We'll wait and see. With the 180th overall pick, the Lions select Iowa tight end Luke Lakey. And, hey, the guy's got some real athleticism. I like his run blocking. I think some of his pass routes could be cleaned up a little bit more. And you're drafting at 180. You're not getting more than likely a polished product. Although, to be fair, Brad Holmes and the scouting department, as we all know, have hit on a lot of mid to late round picks during their tenure. Could Luke be the next one? I don't know, but I do think the Lions will want to add some youth to that tight end room during this draft. You could look at the Lions roster, and I think we'd all agree there's depth in almost every position out there. If you get a couple guys that end up being stars, then you know what? Your team's so much the better for it. I've gone on record before with this show. I'll probably do it again, saying the Lions are going to have the deepest team any of us realistically have ever seen this upcoming year. All right, last of the 3 headlines now. Donovan is Reiku. Boy, I kill his name all the time. Gaining steam as Lions selection by Garrett Powell of CBS Sports. And hey, what we can is Aquaria, Donovan Aquaria. I think we can all say this. He's not a bad pick at all. And in this CBS mock draft, they do have the Lions taking him. They do, more importantly, have the Lions passing on a couple other guys on this list. And that's why I thought was maybe the more interesting thing. Right after the Lions pick, Nick Scorton goes to the Washington Commanders. I actually like Nick quite a bit. I think he's more versatile as far as run and pass defense. Donovan, I don't mind him, but I also think if you're going to go with him, heck, man, you might as well go with James Pierce Jr. or Mike Green or something like that. Somebody with a little bit more athletic upside. Also, you want to pay attention this week to the episode we do with Avery from Spirit of Detroit podcast. He's got a real good eye for a couple different things. Him and I talked about James Pierce, and you might want to check that out. Just for those who watch Ted Lasso, just remember this, Roy Kent. You think of James Pierce Jr., think of Roy Kent, and you'll get that once you watch the show. But in regards to Donovan, hey, he's got a lot of good things about him. I don't think the Lions would be sad to have him. I just think me, myself, and I see the Lions going in a different direction. But what say you do, crew? Would you be okay with him? Let me know. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, like I said at the start of the show, this has got to be a shorter show just because I got to get ready to head on out and stuff like that. For those just joining, during the rest of the week, they will be tape delayed on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as I'm gone for spring break. Probably going to be back in time Friday, although I can't guarantee it. We'll see how it plays out. All right, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. There is growing rumors, speculations, and all the above that Kirby Joseph could be the first person to fall from the house of Brad, the house of Detroit. However you want to term it. We all get it. The Lions are paying a lot of their well-groomed, developed, and maintained draft picks. They're giving them a bag of cash and showing loyalty to them. We already talked in the headlines today that Ali McNeil got paid. We all are assuming at least that Jamison Williams and Aiden Hutchinson are going to get paid. Penei Sewell got paid. Amon-Ra St. Brown got paid. But now you start looking through more and more of the players here in Detroit. At some point, the Lions might just run into a problem where you can't pay them all. Who would you keep? Let me know your guys' thoughts. You got Brian Branch and Kerby Joseph at the safety position. If you could only keep one of them, let me know in the comment section. Who would you keep? What would be your thoughts over this guy or that guy? Because I think a lot of it's going to come down to that. If you're going to keep Kerby Joseph, maybe you can't keep Brian Branch. If you keep Brian Branch, maybe you can't keep Kirby Joseph. And I think that's part of the issue the Lions are going to face. Can you keep them both? If you do, who else are you going to let go? And that's part of the problem, I think, that's starting to emerge. And we've talked about it for a while. You're not going to be able to pay everybody. Somebody's going to lose at some point. But I like Kirby Joseph. I want to be real clear on this. I get maybe he's not the most well-rounded safety in the NFL, but what does he do at an incredibly good rate? He plays single high safety, and he covers sideline to sideline. He is your center fielder in the defense. It's just hard to find somebody. I don't care if it's a first-round pick, second-round pick, free agent, or just whatever. It's hard to find somebody else in this league that does what he does at anywhere near the ability level Kirby Joseph does. Now, while he does have some deficiencies, in my opinion, in other aspects, I think he's so dang good at that one thing that maybe you can't move off him. If the Lions were to move off him, is this the indication that there are going to be changes to the defense that Kelvin Shepard's implementing, and maybe the Lions aren't going to play so much single high safety where maybe someone like him doesn't fit in as well anymore? I think that's also something to be considered. Again, during the interviews you'll see this week, this question comes up a little bit with a couple of the different podcasters that are on during the interviews. Could we be seeing some of the groundwork being laid with some of the selections we've made in the cornerback room? Let's be fair. You look at all those cornerbacks the Lions have brought in this year, there's a lot of similarity there. And they're different than some of the guys we've had the past few years. Could it be that the Lions are looking to switch their defensive system from a 4-3 to a 3-4 to a hybrid to a, to use a basketball term, to an amoeba-style defense? Just means it's always changing. It won't be the same defense every possession, etc. I do think there's some real reason to pause, stop, and think about that. And I do think perhaps, based on all that information, and you can't keep everybody, there just might be some validity to some of the national reports saying that the Lions are considering drafting Kirby Joseph's replacement this upcoming draft. I know we've talked about different mock drafts that have Lions at number 28 selecting a safety, and there's been a couple different ones on that list. But what say you do, crew? I want him to be back. I love Kirby. I think he's a big part of the team, not just in the locker room, not just on the field, but the entire aspect of the Detroit Lions, what we've become these last 3 or 4 years. What say you, though? Let's go over to the Duke Crew comment section and see what you guys have to say about this, and maybe just a little bit more. All right, JDC, morning all, back at you. Pierce, it was bound to start sometime. Yeah, at some point, we all get it. If you keep drafting as well as the Lions appear to be doing, you're going to run out of cash at some point. You can't keep everybody. It's going to stink when it happens because, they have such a family dynamic. Maybe you get everybody to chip in and say, hey, I'll take $500,000 less. Now you start doing that enough, you get a guy's contract. Appears too many people to keep. It could be true. Jess, I know at some point we won't be able to keep everyone, but I sure do love Kirby. Yeah, I think most Lions fans do. Maybe not. I guess if you love the Rams or if you love, Minnesota Vikings, you probably don't like Kerby Joseph for some, unfortunate injury issues. But I think overall, Kirby Joseph is one of the better safeties in the NFL. And yes, I'm sticking to my guns. The Lions have the best current safety combo in the NFL. Pierce, Hutch, Branch, Gibbs, Laporta, the list goes on. Yes, it does. Pierce, Jessica, I generally thought the first domino was going to be JMO. It still could be. It still could be. Totally. But it's just tough because, like I said earlier, Kirby does what he does, being the center fielder, better than anybody else in the league, unless somebody can point out somebody that I've clearly not considered. JMO, while he's not the best center fielder or anything, he is so good, and you could see the trend with him each and every year going up and away. I won't be surprised with the John Morton offense and at least the expectations for it this year, where, man, JMO might put up, I'll throw it out there, like 1,200, 1,300 yards and maybe 9 touchdowns this year. And he has generational speed and ability. Yes, we can all point out some of his downfalls, some of his maturity stuff, but the good thing about maturity, you outgrow it usually and become more and more mature. Pierce, Market says JMO should get around $25 million per year. Oof. Well, I think we've got another 2 years potentially until we got to worry about that. Big Eddie, greetings and salutations. Have to be Gibbs, Sam, Hutch, Branch, and others. If Brad is good as we think, he will find a way to keep KJ. Just got to pop up on my sorry. If not, I can see the team drafting a guy to take his spot this year. Yeah, and that could be. It could be the Lions look to move on, get a replacement sooner versus later for him. So, really the only way this thing's going to get answered is we get through April's NFL draft in whatever it is, 24 days or something like that. Then we probably have a pretty good idea what's going to go down. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Out on spring break. Go enjoy it with the kids this week. If we aren't going to resign Kirby, then we might as well trade him to the Jets or whoever now. And that will be probably one of the big topics that pops up during the draft or leading into the draft. Does Aaron Glenn think highly enough of him where he will change the defense for the Jets, and want to go and trying to acquire him? That could go down. Pierce, I could see Kirby resetting the free agent market and breaking what McKinley got from the Packers. Yeah, it could be. Just because, again, we can't be the only people that see what he does so incredibly well. And there will be people that want an eraser in the back part of their defense. Hey, more good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. What a time be a Lions fan. Woo! 10 hours to restore power here. Go Lions and consumers. Hey, yeah, and I get a lot of the state. I know all my friends up in the UP, was it 2 days ago, had an ice storm or something like that. Trees were falling. I know a lot of them are still without power, so and then they had the big 80-mile-per-hour winds go through most of Southwest Michigan yesterday, knocking out some power for a lot of people. Hey, I just hope everybody's okay. Stay warm, and be ready for the power to come back. Man Bear, good morning. Danielle and the Duke Crew review. You got to love it, and good to see you this morning, my friend. Robert, greetings and salutations. Same to you. Jess, greetings and salutations. Duke Crew, man, we are not letting him leave the building. He might not be the most complete safety in the league, but he picks the ball as clean as anyone. Yeah, 100%. He sets people up. And really, go back to last year's 49ers game. I mean, he intentionally gave some looks, in my opinion at least, to try to set Brock Purdy up into some throws later in the game, and then he made him pay for it. So good for him for that. Again, to your point, Jess, he does that incredibly well. Anymore, we have the flashlights, a blazing, and the coffee. parking on the burner. Thank God for camping equipment. Hey, stay warm, my friend, and just ride it out. Hopefully you don't have too much longer to go. Drake, was it going to cost to keep KJ? Ooh, that's a good question. My guess is probably somewhere around 3 to 4 years and 22 million a year, 25 million a year, somewhere around that. Man, I mean, gosh, maybe that's a little high. Maybe 19 a year. Either way, we get it. It's in that neighborhood. Remember, Brad should draft a replacement for Kirby long as the rookie gets a year with Kirby. Yeah, 100%. Get him a year to develop, kind of come along, go with the 3 safety system that the Lions at least have used in prior years, although Kelvin Shepard could change that. And then, maybe he's not having to step in as a rookie and play such a major role where you can let him come in his sophomore year. Henry, laughing out loud. I am so funny. I can't stand myself. Well, enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy it. Nothing wrong with being funny, my friend. Let's see, France, trade tipping. I tried to find your roast, Broski. What show / day was it on? Coach, are you ever allowing him to return to Lions Talk Live? I'll say this. When I was shooting all the stuff yesterday to air for you guys later this week, I was talking to one of the podcasters about it and just asking me, why did I ban him and stuff. The only thing I could say is, having done this show for a couple years now, you can tell when people feel like they can just get away with anything and there's no recourse. They act like little children. You warn them, in Broski's case, probably legitimately over a couple hundred times. Hey, cool it. And he just wouldn't do it. He kept acting like the spoiled little kid that you can't do anything to me. So I guess after the 300th time I asked him to, cool it, I just banned him. He would really have to prove to me that he's learned his ways and wouldn't do it again. But the problem is I banned him some other times before. He would promise I'll be a good guy, and then he wouldn't do it. And, just at some point I got tired of being Charlie Brown running at the football, if you get that reference. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Shout out to the Pistons for starting to play more like the old school bad boys. Exclamation point. I'm enjoying watching them for the first time in over a decade. Well, go enjoy it, my friend. Hey, all Detroit sports teams are kind of trending up and away. Dale, happy Monday, Duke Crew. What happened to rewarding our own who produced? ? Holmes will find a way to keep Kirby and Brian Branch. Book it. It is being booked, my friend, and I like the way you're thinking. Good morning to you. JDC, Henry Moore, you are diehard Lions Talk Live, 100% with that. Lots of people without power this morning. Yeah. You see it across the state, at least a big portion of the state, that power is out and they're working on restoring it. I just hope everybody's okay and safe. Stephanie, and please keep Kirby. Coach, let Broski back in the group if he agrees to the fight. You know what? I tell you what, if Broski agrees to the broadcast of the fight, you versus him, I'll put him back in the group. I would, that would be allowed. Susan, good morning. Exclamation point. JDC, you are right. Most of the friends and family near me lost power for hours yesterday. Thankfully, we did not. Hey, good for you for not doing that, man. I know a lot of people lost it. Phil, good morning. Back hits you, Phil. Love the guitar. Hey, more. Thanks, JDC. 5 Fingers ready. Spring break is here, and so is the weather, it seems. Had a gas station get hit hard where the roof went off of it. Almost funny you say that. We were coming back, Jen and I, from looking at a house with her son over in Madawan. We came back, got off the highway. There's a marathon station right there when we get off the highway onto, basically our road. And literally 30 seconds after we pass it, there's like this spot over the gas stations. It's like a pseudo roof or whatever you want to call it. It's on a couple poles. It keeps everybody dry when you get out, putting gas in your car. And that thing just blew off. It went flying within seconds. And there were some strong winds for about 10 minutes there. And then it died down, thankfully, quickly. Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan, the Duke Crew. Woo! Gunny, it feels like it's been a day or two since I've seen it. Good to see you, my friend. And hopefully you're enjoying some moves. Voltron, could Glenn make a strong offer for KJ before the draft? I think it is possible. Anytime you have a coordinator take off for a new job somewhere else, it's not uncommon to see them try to acquire some of the players that already know their systems, etc., to try to speed up the process at their new regime or team. So, yeah, that would make a lot of sense to me. So, does anyone have a rough idea what the trade value for him would be? ? Get something for him versus nothing? I want to say I could see something like I don't know, man. A third, maybe a third and some other picks. Maybe a second. I don't think we'd get a first for him, not unless we gave him a first and then we gave them back Kirby and I don't know, something else in return, but I guess we'd have to wait and see. That's a good question. Pierce, Sosa Malong would not take less than a second for him. Hey, there we go. We've set the standard now. Second or more. I would take a second or more. I don't want to get rid of him, though. I want to be clear. Dale, seems like most prefer Brian Branch over Kirby, me included, but all Kirby does is produce INTs. Guess we like Branch's versatility more. Let's keep both. Yeah, I'd say keep both at all possible. Quentin, greatest salutations. No, we ain't getting rid of him. He a game changer. You're not wrong there. He does affect a lot of games with his ability to create turnovers. Hey, man, you create turnovers, you create opportunities. Sosmo, Pierce, I would then. He cost us a third. We got seasons out of him. Now we get the next guy on a cheap rookie deal. I mean, if you're looking at it from just a purely math and investment standard, you are spot on with that. You invest the third-round pick, you'd be getting a second-round pick, so you've increased value there. You now buy yourself, assumingly, whatever, if you got a second, 4 years on a cheaper contract deal. You know, I guess from that standpoint, it makes sense. Although I want to be fair, and I want to say I don't want to see us bust up the Branch Joseph tandem. Bears, it's a math game at some point. You're not wrong. It really is. It really is, and that's, you got to remove emotions a lot when you're a coach or GM, and you got to make business decisions. Pierce, so long after being named an All-Pro and leading the league in picks, this could be the time to make the move. You know, his asking price will probably never be higher than what it is right now, conceivably at least. Pat Power is back, and I'm ready for a slower work week. We'll enjoy the power and enjoy the slower week. 9 drinks. We need to keep Joseph for sure. I'm down with you there. I'm down with you 100%. Mike the Marine, the Gunny. Brad Holmes goes after the guy he wants, best player available, talented blue chips in the first and second round. Then magic happens through the scouting department. Woo! No, the scouting department, that's one thing I would say for the Lions over this tenure. Hey, they've been great on the field. They've produced nothing but glory for the teams. A couple moments of sadness for sure, but I think overall, if you take a step back and look at what we've only known over decades with the team, these last several years have been a godsend to us all. That also being said, the scouting department has to be, without question, one of the best in the NFL. David, question. Does he want out of Detroit? Question mark. If he doesn't, why not keep him? Yeah, and that's probably going to be a big part of it. If he wants to stay here, why would you get rid of him unless it's just, hey, you can't come to terms with the cost? David T, good morning, crew. Back at you. Dennis, good morning. Dan, the Duke crew, and same to you. The non-lifers, good morning. Dan, the Duke crew, exclamation point. I don't think Kirby should go. Best safety duo in the league. I really hope Brad doesn't mess that up. Yeah, me too, man. 100%. I think they're going to find a way to make it happen and keep him here. We will see in time. Phil, guess March is like a lion and out like a lion. Hey, there you go. It's going out with a bang for sure. No doubt about it. Ken, hopefully some of the guys love. Hopefully they all love. JDC, tick, tick, tick. It's woo time, 100%. Michael, we got it. Good morning, Dan. Back at you. Hopefully it's a good start to today. Garland, woo, man, I feel like we haven't seen you in a hot minute. Trim River, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Woo, and good morning to you. Brent, woo, coffee and Lions Talk live on a snowy Monday morning. Oh, yeah, you got to be up north if it's snowy because down here it's nothing but rain. All right, Paul. Not signing Kirby would be a tragedy. Yeah, and I knew where you were going with that. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, he's a good locker room guy. He's a good community guy. He's good on the field. I just don't think there's a downside to him. Michael, I'm a believer in JMO and Manu. By the way, is Joseph a positive force in the locker room? I believe so. I haven't heard anything. Maybe you guys have some thoughts on it, but I have not heard anything of a negative fashion regarding him. Pierce, I wish we could keep everybody, but at some point there will be odd ones out. Yeah, and I hope we keep them, man. Pierce, I think we could be. They could be Kirby and JMO. Could be. Kurt Steele, what up, Duke crew? What's up, man? Of Steel, and thanks for hopping on last night, man. Thanks very much, man. I know that was going on your way to help out. Dale, have a great vacation, Coach. We're gonna give it a go. Drummer, what up, though, Hitman? Brent, Kurt's salute, Kurt, the man of steel, the man of total steel. Kurt Steele. Let's see, Ken. Hopefully some players will be willing to stay for less money to stay in Detroit. It is a preferred destination to play now. Yeah, it really is. People want to be a Detroit Lion. Kim, great players deserve to get their payday. Unfortunately, one team can't pay them all. When drafting and developing studs, Trust Brad Holmes to keep the balance needed for the team. And I think that's very well said there, Ken. Very well. Ken, good morning, everybody. Back at you. Rocky, good morning. All let the speculation fly, but it is fun. Yeah, this time of year, I mean, sometimes I get hammered in comment sections about the speculation, but there's only so many times you can break down the film. In my opinion, when you're running a daily show, you can only break down the film about, the footwork of the guy in the offensive line or the defensive guy's, ability to get to the quarterback or whatever it is. Sometimes, you got to fill in stuff with speculation. Good morning, coach and crew. It's hard to pay two elite players at the same position. Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. I see Brad making a move here. Might be. And, I guess it's the $1 million question. If you can only keep one of the two, who do you keep? Is it Brian Branch or is it Kirby Joseph? Let's see, Keith. Good morning and great salutations, Dan and Duke crew. Exclamation point. Woo! And back at you, Keith. Hopefully you're off to a great start to the day. JDC, I heard Elvis and the Sam Squad are neighbors somewhere deep in the Michigan woods. True story, JDC. When I was a kid growing up in Kalamazoo, I don't know if you guys remember this, back in the 80s, there was reports that Elvis was here in Kalamazoo, and they'd seen him downtown. I want to say at the McDonald's downtown Kalamazoo. And yeah, people started flocking here from all across the country, maybe even across the world, to come find Elvis. Then in Paw Paw, Michigan, which is just west of here, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, there was a guy that passed away maybe 10 or 15 years ago, dressed like Elvis every day, would go downtown with his guitar and play Elvis jams, throughout the entire day. The town loved him. And I guess I went on a tangent there about Elvis. Silver Surfer, good morning, coach, and everyone else. The kid, 302, the 302 kid. Good morning. If the Lions move on from Kerby Joseph, I would be shocked and disappointed. I think a lot of us would be. I hope we don't move on from him. Silver Surfer, happy belated birthday, Avion Maddox. There you go. Paul, the reason why Hutch didn't get picked number one was because of his arm length. It's for sure, not everything. No, 100%. 100%. I agree with you. You're spot on with that, Paul. JC, I ain't scared. Go Lions. 9 drinks. Would have loved to see the Sarge for a couple days. Last year was pretty dang good. Yeah, I tried to get him on last night because of this, but unfortunately, because the storm that came through, I think they were hosting some people over at their house for dinner. That got pushed back or something like that. And by the time he was able to get on, I was just getting done with the final recording of the day. And man, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty burnt out. Brent agreed. 9 drinks. The Sarge rocks and he rolls. Silver Server. Kirby matters. He is important for the Lions. He is a leader like Anzalone. Very good. Very true. Very, very true. JDC, Brenton Wood, and he rolls. Dale, Sarge is awesome indeed. 100%. I agree. Silver Sword, Coach, I wish I could see Vaki at safety. Hope the new DC sees something in him. I really think Vaki could bring something at that position. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they try him out at all. Dave, replace Kirby Joseph? Question mark. The whole goal of a draft is to find guys like Kirby Joseph, and as long as they don't get injured very often and they're young, you resign them. Yeah, and that's what I hope they do. I hope they resign them. Silver Server, Jared Goff got paid. Yes, he did. Keith, Branch, Mr. Taz, Branch, Derek, I agree. Silver Server, been wondering why they haven't given Vaki a shot on defense. We'll find out. Maybe this offseason. Phil, Branch, Kirby is better because Branch is playing. Yeah, that could be. CM Love Lust, game over. All right. Well, man, I love the Johnny Bravo, by the way, man. Love the Johnny Bravo. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Power out since 8 a.m. Sunday. Hey, hopefully it's coming back soon, man. Hopefully real soon. Rick in the Mint, Branch. Silver, I keep Joseph over Branch, although I love Branch. Nothing wrong with that. Go with who you like. We got Keith, Branch, multiple positions. Kirby, 1. Rocky, the team needs to do hometown discounts just for they can stay together and strong. Miss the loyalty from the old days. Yeah, and maybe you could argue potentially with a few of the guys this offseason, they took a bit of a discount. Getting everybody to do it, though, would help out. You get a few more contracts. Non-Leverage, didn't Vaki play safety at Utah? He did. He did indeed. Phil, Lions now have a Jets connection. AG has sent a couple of players, sent a couple of players. Lions may send AG a great player. Maybe. D-Dunk Kirby isn't going over. That's what I tend to believe too, my friend. Silver Vaki does not bring much as a halfback in the NFL. I really wonder what they were thinking sometimes. Same thing when they trade up for Martin. I wonder why. Did not see anything in him to want the pick. If they saw something, I'll go with that. Bot, what do you got? Stinks that as soon as you get really good, we have to start losing pieces. Let's hope they don't. And, right now it's just different reports saying that potentially the Lions move on from them. We'll see. Dynamite, if they drafted someone to replace Kirby, they're dumb. I would go with that. Mr. Ed, good morning. Dan and crew, same to you. Silver Sir, people talk about Kirby for his low tackles, but he was learning how to tackle. Now much better. Have you seen the way Bob Sanders used to tackle? He would be fine every day in the NFL, in today's NFL. Yeah, him running a lot amongst a bunch of other people. The game has changed. Brian, good morning, Dan and everyone. Who do you have for wide receiver behind Patrick? I feel we need one more good receiver, free agent or draft. And I my personal opinion, Brian, is that we're going to draft somebody probably in the middle or later rounds. D-Dunk, I put chance of not resigning Kirby at less than 10%. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's probably a fairly good rate there. Big D, power out here in Wisconsin, too. A lot of places getting it, aren't they? Keith, though, if we trade Kirby, better be a great freaking trade. I agree, man. Mr. Ed, keep them all, exclamation point. Pay them, exclamation point. Darn it. Best team in my life, so pay them. Yes, indeed. Chazbot, I think you trade before letting them walk. Yeah, if you know you've tried to re-sign the guy, get a new extension, you can't get it, then maybe you do trade him because you want to get something out instead of nothing. Keith, though, Chaz, 100%. Derek, I thought my house was going to blow away and land in Kansas, or worse, Toronto. Hey, there you go. Hopefully, well, I'm glad your house didn't blow away. Big D, great call on Broski, Coach. Don't double think it. Yeah, and hey, I don't know what happened. Like the first year or two or something like that of the show, I mean, he was okay. He'd have his moments. But then something happened where whatever it was, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, he really did become like a spoiled kid that, nah, you can't do anything to me. And I was like, well, goodbye. All right, Rocky, laughing out like your style, Stephanie, with the fight agreement. Yeah, and I would say, I can't promise Stephanie can beat everybody out there, but I've watched her, coached her for long enough where I'm going to guess there's a lot of people, guys included, that would not enjoy that experience. Look at it. Broski was trashing you on Kurt's show last week. I got into him over it. Hey, man, let Broski do whatever he's going to do, man. Like I said, there's just times he does seem like a spoiled, like 8-year-old kid. Mr. Ed, I put up with your new head coach and rebuilding the team my whole life, and I'm sick and tired of it. We finally get a good franchise, so keep it. Yeah, I'm with you, Ed, 100%. The Central Scrutinizer, our secondary was our weak spot. It could be. Brent, morning, Hookadoo, Grit. The Central Scrutinizer, why would we trade him if we can't re-sign him, I guess? That would be, the only scenario I could think of. Hookadoo, good morning, Brent. Grit wins. Yes, it does. Michael, we finally have a secondary to fear, and we're not giving Kirby up. I hope not. I really hope not. But I guess we'll see what happens. Dynamite, you guys are unloyal. Let's hope we are very loyal and keep them. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. We'll see you next time. Central Scrutinizer, more big win and ice on the way Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, and I know it's, so we're going out west to a warmer destination, but it's going to be like in the 50s or 60s just because it seems like most of the United States this week are going to be cold or colder. JDC, Detroit Lions rebuilding since 1957. Stay tuned to Coach Dan Lions Talk Live for more updates. Go Lions. Hey, thank you for that. Pastor Ben, Coach Dan, phony on daylight savings time. AZ up early, but I'm hooked on Lions Talk Live. Lions Super Bowl bound 2025, 26. Thanks, Coach Dan. Hey, anytime. Glad you're up early. I know, yeah, I got up early for today. T-Bone Logs, whatever happens with Joseph signing, we need him for the Super Bowl run this season. I hope we do re-sign him, and let's see that it does happen. Phil, hookah, burn the love for the blue and silver. I'll go with that. Keith, prayers are needed! Exclamation point. I want to see the Lions win the Super Bowl before my cancer does its job on me. PSA numbers are up to 1568. Going to a new radiation doctor today. Prayers are needed. We're sending thoughts and prayers your way. Anything we can do for you, my friend, just let us know. The two crews here for you. Keitho, Goff better restructure his contract. I almost think that he's going to try to assist the team. I think Goff knows this is realistically the last team will have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl with. Something could happen, of course, where he goes to another team after the Lions and has an opportunity, but I think he's all in it to win it here. Ryder, trade Kirby to Rams. Him and Stafford get along, so there's an idea. Phil, prayers, Keith. Keitho, Vaki was looking good on special teams. He was. Keitho, keep Branch. JDC, you'll be in my thoughts. Good luck. Yes, 100%. Dynamite, Kirby tackles fine. People just soft. Yeah, some people have gotten soft with the NFL nowadays. Keith, they'll always draft a wide receiver. Derek, stay strong. Keith, best wishes, 100%. Dolo, 100% says Keith. Keith, Phil, JDC, and others, thank you. Hey, we all got you. Thomas, let's see, fake news as usual. There's nothing fake about it. You can find this on 20 different national media reports. So, Thomas, I mean, if you think this is fake news, then I'd say you're fake. How about that? JDC, Big D, I love the thumbnail you have. Hey, there you go. Non-levers, can we franchise tag Kirby? Yes, you could. So you could franchise him for 2 years, so back-to-back years. So conceivably, you could have him for, I guess, whatever's that, 3 more years. Derek, Coach, will the chat still be available during your spring break? I'm not sure. I've tried to set it up where it would be, but I can't guarantee it. I don't have enough experience with it. Aaron Glenn is a factor. That could be. Derek, one thing I would be able to say, while it's playing, you could always comment with each other during the comment section of the video if it doesn't. Night Drinks. Dan, are you heading to San Diego? Heading out west. Not San Diego, though. Maybe next time. Brent, prayers, Keith. Derek, Goff could save us the cash to pay Kirby. He could. Mr. Ed, if the NFL expands, how would that affect the pay scale? I'm not sure if it would, but I don't know. So maybe I shouldn't comment. JDC, Lambeau Field, home of the Lamers. There you go. Multi-Mitch, prayers for Keith. There you go. All right, guys, I got to get on out here, get finish packing, all that stuff, get us over to the airport, all that kind of jazz. If there is some sort of breaking news today, I'm not sure if I can get it to you. Maybe Kurt Steele or somebody else from the Lions fandom can get it over to you. Again, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there will be a show at 7 a.m. It's just going to be a tape delayed show. Friday, I should be back in time, but with travel stuff, you never are 100% sure. Definitely Saturday, Sunday, etc. So, hey, take care. Be kind to each other. Do something nice for somebody you don't know. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, guys. Enjoy your spring breaks. And get your power back.
Excuse me, sir. Would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?